Hi everyone. So today I wanted to talk a little bit about Lilith. This video is extremely close to my heart because Lilith is an energy that I very strongly relate to. I have a prominent Lilith in my chart. I have Lilith in Scorpio. And the reason I decided to do this video is because the other day a friend and we were chatting, and she was basically asking me what Lilith is about, what this energy is about. What does it mean for her, the placement that she has? And I was explaining to her what Lilith means and how it means, from a practical perspective, in today's day and age. And it made me realize that I need to do a video on Lilith and I need to talk about Lilith in all the 12 signs and how this energy manifests in each of the 12 signs. So this video is going to be about Lilith in each of the 12 zodiac signs. For practical purposes, I'm going to be talking about Black Moon Lilith, which is also called the BML. And if you don't know where your Black Moon Lilith is, you can go to astro.com or any of the astrology sites, and you can type in H13, H13, and that's going to give you the placement of your Black Moon Lilith. There's also the asteroid Lilith, and there's also the true Lilith. There's also the Voldemort, but I tend to use the Black Moon Lilith because I feel like that's the most accurate representation of Lilith energy for me personally. So before I go on to the actual, the placement of Lilith in each of the 12 signs, I want to talk a little bit about Lilith. What is Lilith? So Lilith is generally talked about as being like the dark feminine. So what is dark feminine? What is Lilith? Lilith is the dark feminine. What is darkness? Darkness is anything that's hidden. That's anything that's in the subconscious, that's not been brought to the surface, that we haven't addressed in our own subconscious. So it's hidden, it's sort of repressed. We haven't really faced up to it. So what does it mean when we talk about Lilith? When we say dark feminine, it's basically everything that we've been told as women that we cannot do, or that we are not supposed to do, or basically anything that has been repressed in society in terms of the feminine. Everything that is repressed. So we talk about women's rights movements and equality for men and women, and freedom of expression, being able to do what you want with your life and being able to chart your own path the way you want to. That is all Lilith. Now, because we live in a male dominated society and because it's very patriarchal, so many things are uh, so many things are restricted for women. So Lilith is here to help women realize that we don't need to be, serving. We don't need to be beneath anybody to live a full life. We can be completely autonomous. We can be completely powerful in the divine feminine and still be able to do whatever we want. So if you look at ancient mythology, Lilith was the first wife of Adam. And she basically left Adam because she was not treated as an equal partner. She didn't like the fact that she would have to bend to a man's will, and so she left him. And if you take this mythology and if you apply it into the modern context, it basically means that Lilith is everything that has been suppressed, everything that has been, consciously suppressed, that women should be doing, but they're not allowed to do. So it depends on where Lilith is placed in your birth chart. So based on which sign you have your Black Moon Lilith, it's going to manifest differently for you. And in this video, I mainly talk about it from a woman's perspective because personally, I feel like Lilith is closer to women compared to men. So in a woman's chart, it's going to show how she expresses this dark side of her femininity. Whereas in a man's chart, it's going to be the kind of woman that he's scared of, he's almost afraid of, because she represents everything that he hasn't embraced about his own feminine side. So, but in this video, I'm going to be talking about it mostly from a woman's perspective, what it means to have Lilith in different signs in her chart. And before I move on, I want to quickly give you an update that, I do astrology birth chart readings. So if you'd like to get a chart reading done, you can get in touch with me on my Facebook page, facebook.com/Venusianscorp. I've provided the link in the description box below. You can also reach me at my email ID, that's astroluck111@gmail.com. So you can drop me an email. I'm also doing, chart readings on Facebook via Messenger. So if you'd like to get a chart reading done like that, you can contact me on my Facebook page, facebook.com/Venusianscorp. I also do tarot readings. I've started doing that via Messenger recently. So get in touch with me if you'd like a tarot reading done for you. It'll be a full analysis of your past, present, future, the direction in which you're headed, challenges in your life, and how you can overcome them. So all of my readings, not just the tarot, but the astrology chart readings as well, I provide you with practical recommendations that you can use to overcome challenges in your life. I study your chart, I see which areas you have specific challenges, and then I give you realistic, practical recommendations that you can use to overcome. I basically help you to remove the very root of these challenges so that you can move forward in your life and live life to your fullest potential. Okay, so getting that out of the way, let's move on to Lilith and the signs. So first, I'm going to talk about Lilith in Aries. Okay, so when Lilith is placed in Aries, it's a very fiery, warlike energy. Aries is the god of war. So when you have Lilith here in the sign of Aries, it's going to be a woman who's very, very aggressive. She's very masculine. She's really expressing the fiery side of this placement. And Lilith, if you think Pluto is the planet of chaos and transformation and upheavals and complete transformation, like everything eighth house related, Lilith is basically the feminine manifestation of Pluto energy. That's how I like to call it, because she shines a light on everything that needs to come out, that everything that needs to shine onto the surface, everything that's dark and hidden about the feminine rights, the feminine movement, the feminine energy. And so when she's in Aries, she's going to be very masculine. She's going to be very aggressive. She's going to be very, very warlike. It's almost like Xena, the warrior princess. I don't know if you've watched that show. So it's very much like Xena. She's very warrior-like. She's very, very, forward-moving. She's going to get what she wants. And a Lilith in Aries woman is almost going to be too masculine, too aggressive. So she might be the type of woman who purposely tries to challenge a man's masculinity. So she might purposely try to put him down, or like she herself is going to be so aggressive and so masculine that men may feel a little bit intimidated or a little bit emasculated by her. Or she might just purposely choose to surround herself by men who don't pose a challenge to her masculinity, who are not a threat to her masculinity. So this can play out in both ways, the Lilith and Aries energy. And she can be very, very blunt in the way she goes about this whole women's rights and the need for freedom and expressing the Lilith side. And it can come across as very blunt, very, very rude, almost a little bit vulgar sometimes, because Aries is again very impulsive, very, very restless, very quick. They don't really think things through. So Lilith in Aries can manifest in these ways. Moving on to Lilith in Taurus. So Taurus, to me personally, Taurus is, Taurus of course is an earth sign, but I feel like Taurus is represented by the element earth. And more than the planet Venus, I think Taurus is ruled by the planet Earth. So, what is the dark side of Earth? The dark side of Earth is rot, right? It's rot. It's everything that has been discarded, that has a stench, that's not really fertile. It's just the dark side of Earth. Nothing really grows there. So when somebody has Lilith in Taurus, it's going to be, a woman who has a lot of femininity. Taurus is feminine energy. She's very, very sultry. She's very sensual. She's very, very seductive. And she's going to use this energy to lure men in. And then she's going to basically destroy the relationship. That's what typically plays out in Lilith and Taurus. So these women they're very, very attractive. They're literally like the goddess energy, but they use this energy if it's not positively manifested. And Lilith generally tends to not manifest positively because it's a very, very strong energy. It's very difficult to come out of it with a positive manifestation. So when somebody has Lilith in Taurus, it's going to be somebody who lures men in with the seductive charm and with the femininity and the sensual wiles, but then eventually the relationship just completely gets destroyed. The other thing I wanted to mention about Lilith and Taurus is that Taurus tends to treat people and things at a similar level. So she thinks of everything and everybody as her possessions, even people. So a Lilith in Taurus is going to enter into a relationship. She's going to lure the person in, but then she's going to treat that person as an object, not as a person, not as somebody with real feelings and real emotions. So she's going to treat them as just another one of her possessions. So that is the dark side of this energy. And Lilith in Taurus tends to manifest in this way usually. Lilith in Gemini, moving on to Lilith in Gemini. Gemini, like I said in my sun sign series, Gemini is like the chameleon. They really know what to say at the right moment. They can adapt so quickly. They're ruled by the planet Mercury, so they're very quick-witted. They can immediately think of what to say in any situation. So if somebody has Lilith in Gemini, they're going to use their communication to seduce, to lure somebody in. So what they're going to do is they're going to talk in just the right way. They're going to know exactly what to say at the right time. And they're going to be the type of people who can literally knock your socks off with just the way they communicate. Their words are very, very powerful. And powerful not in a scorpionic, deep way. It's very powerful in that they are reflections of the other person. That's why Gemini is also represented by the twins, because they reflect other people's communication styles. They are very adaptable. So based on what the other person is thinking, they use their seductive capabilities through their communication. So they're going to say what you want to hear. They're going to talk the way you want to, hear your partner talk. And they're going to use these abilities to lure the person. And it's very spellbinding. The communication that they use is going to be very spellbinding. So Lilith in Gemini is going to be the type of person who will charm you completely with their communication. And this can be in many different ways. It's not an authentic way of charming. It's going to be manipulative. It's going to be like, saying something that is not authentic to what they really believe in. It's going to be saying half truths, like not saying what they really mean, or not telling the complete truth, or saying something that doesn't really speak the full truth, but it's something that they want you to hear because they think that you will be happy listening to that side of whatever they have to say. This kind of communication can be used as a manipulative tactic to get the Lilith and Gemini person to get whatever they want. So they're going to use their communication to get what they want. They are actually master manipulators in communication, and they really know how to, they really have the gift of the gab, and they can really manipulate other people just by the words that they speak. So this is the dark side that manifests in Lilith and Gemini. The fact that they can adapt so quickly to any situation means that their manipulation tactics get even stronger, because they're like I said, they're chameleons. They can adapt so quickly to a situation. That, along with the fact that their communication is so on point, all the time, that they really know how to twist a situation in their favor. And people really fall for their charms because of this reason. Moving on to Lilith and Cancer. Lilith in Cancer can play out the shadow side of Cancer, which is Capricornian in nature. So, what is Cancer? Cancer is ruled by the home. So, Lilith in Cancer can be somebody who harbors dark secrets related to the home, the family, taboo secrets that nobody wants to talk about, but she has to bear the burden of keeping these secrets. And because Cancer is so close to the children and nurturing, a Lilith and Cancer woman may find that she actually embraces the shadow side of Cancer, which is Capricorn. So what will happen is she may end up, raising her children in a very Capricornian manner. So she may be very strict in her upbringing, the way she brings up her children. She may be very stern. She may kind of withhold affection. She may not be very nurturing. She may reject her children. She may withhold affection. She may be cold. She may focus purely on, teaching her children how to be self-reliant, how to be self-sufficient, and just be very practical in life. Love is just all nonsense. There's no need to be all dramatic and sentimental. Just get on with life. And she might raise her children this way. And so in this way, what happens is she becomes like her own self-fulfilling prophecy. So what happens is, because she's raising her children in this way, the children feel this lack of affection. And so eventually they may end up leaving her. And so her own prophecy that, this whole shadow side of Cancer, that, love doesn't matter, nurturing doesn't matter, all that matters is just getting ahead in life and being practical, being self-reliant. This becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, because her children feel all these things from her. They don't get the affection that they need. They don't get the nurturing that they need. And so they may leave her. And so whatever she believed, in, just like the law of attraction, she ends up manifesting that. That becomes her self-fulfilling prophecy. So her children end up leaving her. She ends up being alone, even though, Cancer is all about nurturing. The shadow side, the dark side of it, plays out in just the opposite way, where her own children leave her. Also, because Cancer rules the home, she may find, like a Lilith and Cancer woman may find that, she does not, get the kind of love that she wants from her partner, because Cancer rules the home. So it might happen that, her partner is not loving, her partner is very cold, and so she feels completely rejected. She never gets that love that she needs. She's always starving for it. So even though Cancer is such a nurturing and loving sign, a Lilith and Cancer woman is always going to be feeling like she's starved of affection, especially from her partner in life. And this is the tragedy that faces her throughout her life. Lilith and Leo. So Lilith and Leo, I feel, is kind of like the narcissistic placement, but it's just narcissism taken to a completely different level, like a whole new level. And this is because Leo is ruled by the sun. What is the sun? The sun always wants to shine. It always wants to be in the spotlight. And Lilith perversely magnifies whatever it touches. If you think Jupiter positively magnifies whatever it touches, Lilith actually perversely magnifies whatever it touches. So in Leo, she's going to feel like she always has to be the center of attention at all times. It almost becomes like a drug to her, being in the limelight. And these people can hang on to the spotlight for so long that when reality kicks in, that, when they realize that it's not always going to be this way, you can't always be the center of attention all the time. When reality kicks in, these people have like this break in their personality. It's like they have to deal with this side of themselves that realizes that they cannot really be in the limelight anymore. And this is like a major blow to their ego, to their self-esteem. And so what happens is Lilith and Leo can end up going through periods of depression when this happens, because they're clinging on to the spotlight for so long, this whole energy of being in the limelight for so long, that when it doesn't happen, which it's bound to happen because you're not going to be in the spotlight all the time, right? So when it happens, when reality kicks in, these people really get a massive blow to their ego. And because Leo is ruled by the sun, And these people have such a strong charisma, like it's almost like you cannot put a lid on it. It's just refusing to be hidden. So sometimes Lilith and Leo people can be so charismatic that they are afraid of their own charisma. It's almost like they're scared of the kind of charisma that they have. So think of Jim Morrison, right? Jim Morrison had a Lilith and Leo placement, and oftentimes he would actually perform with his back to the audience because he was so charismatic and he realized it. And he these people almost have like a mass, they can hypnotize entire crowds of people. That's the kind of that's the level of charisma that they have. So it's a very, very powerful placement. But then what happens often is many of them misuse it because Lilith is also about scandals and, like taboos and everything that is hidden from the public eye. And because Leo is about the spotlight and the limelight, what can happen is these people end up airing their dirty laundry in public. They might be in the middle of scandals and very taboo incidents, but then it all ends up being in the public eye. And a lot of it, because Leo wants an audience, that's the energy of Leo. Leo has to have an audience. But Lilith is all about the dirty secrets, the dark secrets, the scandals in life. So Lilith and Leo can often end up airing their dirty laundry in public. They can be, their scandals can be very openly shown to the public, and they might be horrified themselves that, this is happening to them. Like, all my private secrets are being shown to the public, and I don't want this to happen. But then, because Leo wants an audience, it almost kind of perversely fulfills their need for the limelight. It's a very twisted kind of an energy. So that's a little bit about Lilith and Leo. On to Lilith and Virgo. This is a very, very complex placement. I'm actually fascinated by Lilith and Virgo because it's such a dual placement. This is like the classic good girl, bad girl kind of a vibe. So Virgo is generally like a squeaky clean, spotless, clean, good girl kind of an image. They are almost too self-critical of themselves. They're always putting themselves down. They never think like they are good enough. Whereas Lilith, and also Virgo, is very particular about what other people think of them. They don't like it when other people criticize them because they are so critical of themselves so many times. So when Lilith is in Virgo, what is Lilith energy? Lilith is exactly the opposite. Lilith doesn't care about what other people think about her. Lilith is all about being wild and untamed and just letting the feminine shine, and it doesn't matter what other people think. So when Lilith is in Virgo, this woman who has Lilith in Virgo, is going to have like this conflict inside her. She's going to struggle with this good girl, bad girl image inside her. So it's going to be like an internal war zone going on in her mind. So she may feel very unclean, very impure, because Virgo is also about being pure, like the virgin energy. So she may feel unclean. She may feel like, this Lilith energy is so strong. You cannot put a lid on Lilith. You cannot put a lid on Lilith. Lilith is, no matter where she is in your chart, she's going to she'll want to be seen. So when Lilith is in Virgo, this is a person who wants to maintain that spotless, clean image, like this good girl image. But then Lilith is always telling her that, she needs to let this sensual side of her run free, run amok, just no lid on it, absolutely. And she can really struggle to reconcile these two sides of her. So I almost find like Lilith in Virgo is kind of like a masochistic type of energy, because she may indulge in Lilith energy. She may actually let herself loose. She may indulge in these fantasies of Lilith, but then the Virgo side of her is going to punish herself. So she's going to end up punishing herself, probably like almost like self-flagellation, where she beats herself up for indulging in these fantasies. And it's almost like a masochistic kind of a placement, where on one side she'll want to fulfill these fantasies, but the other side of her is telling her, you can't do that. It goes against every principle of Virgo energy. You can't just run amok and just fulfill all your desires. Like, good girls don't do that. So she may often feel very conflicted inside. And I think it's eventually about reconciling the two and striking a balance, because it's a very repressed energy. Virgo can repress a lot of the side of Lilith. So it's important that they channel this energy in a healthy way rather than keeping it repressed all the time. So that's about Lilith and Virgo. Also, I wanted to add that Lilith is kind of like a demon energy. It's a dark energy. So she's very, very potent. She wants to be seen. So anytime you try to put a lid on her, she's going to actually come out in more negative ways. So the healthy way to channel Lilith is to actually indulge in Lilith energy, but to have a balance. Moving on to Lilith and Libra. So this is another very interesting placement because Libra is all about equality, justice, fighting for equal rights, and Lilith is also about the same kind of energy. So when Lilith is in Libra, this fight for justice and equality and women's rights, women's liberation, this is all amplified when Lilith is in Libra. And what is going to happen is a Lilith and Libra woman is often going to dislike men. So she's going to be the type of woman who, maybe she hates men who cheat on their wives, right? Maybe she hates men who cheat on their partners or cheat on their wives. But she's going to be the type of woman who perversely uses her feminine charms to lure men and make them cheat on their girlfriends, make them cheat on their wives, and then spite the man because he did exactly that. So it's kind of a very twisted energy. Like she may use her feminine charms to lure men into, getting attracted to her. So she may end up making men, cheat on their wives, cheat on their partners. But then when they actually do that, she may punish them. She may say that she may have this scorn, this ridicule for men. Like, I always knew, like she may think to herself, I always knew men were like this. And like, look at what's happened. That's exactly what they did, right? So this plays out a lot in Lilith and Libra women. This kind of the way it plays out is she spites men. She is scornful of men. Or it could be that she generally hates men in general. She just doesn't like men in general. And so she purposely tries to lure men. She purposely tries to seduce men. And then she puts them down because they're doing this. So it's kind of like a self-destructive energy. A lot of the times this happens is because Lilith is also about trauma and abuse that could have happened in childhood. So what could have happened for a Lilith and Libra woman is that she may have been, violated at a very young age by a male authority in her family. It needn't have been in her family. It could have been somebody, whom she knew, who was close to the family, but she could have been violated at a very young age. And so she carries this wound within her. So she doesn't really reconcile the masculine side of herself. She is, so in her adulthood, she's basically trying to get revenge for something that happened to her in childhood. So a wound that she carries in her from childhood, that abuse that she faced in her childhood, she's going to carry through in her adulthood. And she's going to try and extract revenge on men. Because she's trying to reconcile, she's trying to come to terms with that wound. She was not able to extract this revenge in her childhood because she was powerless then, right? She was a small child, but she was violated by a male authority. And now in her adulthood, she's trying to seek closure. She's trying to seek closure in every relationship in her life. So she's going to destroy men. She's going to try and extract revenge on every man that she meets. She's going to purposely try and seduce them and purposely try and lure them, and then spite them when they are getting seduced by her. So that's a very complicated energy. And I think until and unless Lilith and Libra actually reconciles that wound that she carries within herself, she's going to keep destroying relationships. She's going to keep destroying men one after the other. So that's a little bit about Lilith and Libra. And just like Libra, it's all about balance. It's all about reconciling the masculine and feminine energies within yourself rather than punishing men, you know. So that's about Lilith in Libra. Moving on to Lilith in Scorpio. Lilith in Scorpio is an extremely powerful placement. I have this placement personally, and I speak from personal experience. The energy is so potent and so strong, it's like it almost takes over the entire chart. So even if you have a sun sign in a relatively light-hearted placement, if you have Lilith in Scorpio, it's going to dominate your relationships. It is going to dominate your relationships. And what will happen is Lilith in Scorpio is the kind of person who just naturally has an inclination to the dark side. Like, she knows about spells, she knows about love spells, voodoo, black magic, and things like that. She doesn't need to be taught in these things. It just comes naturally to her. So one thing I want to say is never piss a Lilith in Scorpio off. Never get a Lilith in Scorpio mad at you. They take time to get angry. They're not the type who is just going to blow up. It's not like Aries energy or like a fire energy. It's deep water energy. It's Scorpio. So these people take time to get angry. But when they do get angry, oh man, you better run. You better run, because these people are going to use every means necessary to destroy you. And what I mean by that, it's not like, it's not like an immediate revenge. Like Aries is just going to probably burn your house down and they're done with it. No, Lilith in Scorpio is lifelong revenge. It's like psychological revenge. You will never know what hits you. And you will always be wondering when they're going to extract their revenge. It's like, it's very long drawn out. It's very painful revenge. It's not the kind of revenge that you want in your life. Lilith in Scorpio woman is extremely powerful. And I mean that in the sense that Lilith in Scorpio is often called it's in its domicile, it's in its home environment. Lilith feels at home here. It's so powerful. Because Lilith is all about hidden feminine energy. It's all about dark feminine energy, sensuality, and dark energy. And what is Scorpio? Scorpio is also the same. Scorpio is also about dark, feminine energy. And so these two are very much at home with each other. And I have this placement, and I know what it's like. It takes over your entire personality, it takes over your persona. It's like never ever betray a Lilith Scorpio, because they are going to go after the jugular. It's very, very personal to them. Don't ever tell a Lilith in Scorpio that it's not personal to them. It's deeply personal to them. And if she's after revenge, she is after your guts. She is after your very, very core. And she's going to destroy you completely. And you will not even know what hit you, because it's going to be for your entire lifetime. It's not even like a few years. I'm talking about decades, or even more, 20, 30 years of revenge. That's the kind of revenge a Lilith in Scorpio goes for. So a Lilith in Scorpio is going to be very well versed in the dark arts. She just naturally knows it. And if she has South Node in Scorpio or South Node in the 8th house, it's going to be even more amplified, because these things are like related to the past life. So she already carries these energies within her. It's very easy for her to manifest these things. So love spells, voodoo, she can do anything to lure a person in. And nothing is, there is no ethical boundary in that sense, And this is where Lilith in Scorpio needs to exercise caution, because it's so easy for them to use this energy for manipulation. It's so easy. It's so easy to use like a love spell to get somebody interested in them and, use it for manipulation. But this is where Lilith in Scorpio's learning is, to not use this energy for lower vibrational purposes, to not use this energy to damage somebody and manipulate somebody, because Scorpio is extremely healing. Scorpio and Virgo, both of them are extremely penetrative signs, and by penetrative I mean like they have laser insight. So a Lilith and Scorpio woman can look at a man and know exactly all of his weaknesses. She knows exactly where his weaknesses lie, and she can lethally use that to her advantage. She can really manipulate men. But the higher octave of Lilith and Scorpio is to learn from this and to use it to heal others, not to destroy others, not to manipulate others, but to heal others, because she has such laser insight into people's personalities, people's weaknesses, their darkest secrets, that she can use this to help them heal and not to destroy them. Actually, because I have displacement myself, I want to do a separate video on Lilith and Scorpio, entirely like a different video on Lilith and Scorpio, just focusing on this energy alone, because I feel it's so potent. It's so powerful. Like, you feel it. It's like at a visceral level. You feel it taking over your personality. And I believe in Lilith a lot personally. So, I believe in her. I believe in her energy. I relate to her a lot. So, let me know if you guys would like a separate video on Lilith and Scorpio. Then I'll work on something pretty soon. So that's about Lilith and Scorpio. Moving on to Lilith and Sagittarius. So Sagittarius is often thought of as like a light-hearted sign, but actually, if you look at the symbol of Sagittarius, it's the centaur. The centaur is represented by half beast, half man. So it's like they have this animalistic instinct to them. And when Lilith is in Sagittarius, it's like she perversely amplifies this animalistic side of Sagittarius. So a woman with Lilith in Sagittarius is going to be too primal, too wild, almost too untamed for even civilization, So society may find her too unabashed, like too wild, And a Lilith in Sagittarius, she may find it very easy to let go of the human side, like the civilized side of herself. So she may completely give in to the animalistic side when Lilith is in Sagittarius. So it's all about being wild, it's all about being untamed, completely without filters. Sagittarius is also a very blunt sign. So these people may come across as very crass, very rude, almost vulgar, there's no filters. There's no lid to what they're saying. They don't put a lid on anything that they're saying. They may be too forthcoming, too brash, too wild, and too untamed. And so what will happen is sometimes these people can go into a trance-like state, because they're battling. Sagittarius energy anyway is always battling between the half man, half beast energy. So they're always battling their animalistic instincts and their, the civilized instincts that society teaches us. So when Lilith is in Sagittarius, it can amplify this animalistic side. And so they may enter trance-like states where they end up doing things that are completely not aligned with their personality. They may enter trance-like states, they may end up doing things, and then when they come back to their, the human side, they may end up thinking what the hell did I just do? How could I have behaved this way? So it's a very footloose, kind of a free energy, and Lilith here is very, very potent. So it actually makes the Lilith and Sagittarius person be even more wild and sometimes not even be aware of what they're doing. On to Lilith and Capricorn. So Lilith and Capricorn woman is going to be the type of woman who uses her feminine charms to get ahead, in the corporate life. She can use her feminine charms to climb up the corporate ladder any which way. Capricorn is very cutthroat sometimes. It can be very, very ambitious, too driven almost, like getting your drive met, getting your ambition fulfilled at any cost. So Lilith in Capricorn can be the type of woman who uses her feminine charms to dominate other men around her, or men who work with her, to the point that the other men feel emasculated around her. And she's going to use her power, she's going to use her authority to put men down around her. She's going to do anything to reach the top. Totally cutthroat, completely ambitious, completely driven. And what this is going to manifest as is that the men in her life are going to be repelled by her, because they are always feeling emasculated around her. They're never allowed to feel their own masculinity, their own power, because she's always putting them down as a woman, She is ultra masculine, she's ultra power hungry, dominating in the workplace, even in relationships, because even in relationships, she has this need for power and control. And Saturn is all about authority. So she's going to use this masculine side of herself to have authority even in relationships. And so her male, the partner is going to feel put down all the time. He's never going to be able to realize his own masculine role in the relationship because she's always assuming that role. And so there's going to be a little bit of conflict of power there. Saturn also is about delays, it's about restrictions. And Lilith is about unabashed sensuality and releasing the feminine. So these two are going to be at odds with each other. So the Lilith and Capricorn woman is going to be the type of woman who has who might have very perverted fantasies, very perverted, imaginations, but she's never able to have an outlet because Saturn puts a restriction on it. So she might have perverted fantasies, but she'd never be able to, fulfill them. And this can cause a lot of blockages for her in her chart, in her journey. It can cause depression for her. It can cause blockages in the relationship because she's never able to fulfill any of these things. And so it can cause a lot of depression for a Lilith and Capricorn woman. On to Lilith and Aquarius. This can manifest, a person with Lilith and Aquarius can manifest this energy as having very odd fetishes, exhibitionism, being ultra rebellious, being androgynous, and taking it to a whole new level where, it's completely androgynous. It's taken to a completely different level. So in doing this, she almost questions the other person's sensuality. So by being so rebellious, it's almost like she's asking the other person, do you even know who you are? That's what Aquarian energy is about. It's very rebellious. It's very, it questions authority. It doesn't take things at face value. And so a Lilith and Aquarius woman is often going to be very, very rebellious, very, very rebellious. She's going to be wanting to challenge her own sensuality as well as the sensuality of other people. And oftentimes she's going to choose a partner who is a rebel himself, who is going to be sort of an outcast, somebody that society perceives as a little bit unusual, maybe on the fringes, somebody who is an outcast, somebody who is not accepted in society. These are going to be the type of people that Lilith and Aquarius finds very, very fascinating, and she's going to pick these people as their partners. Lilith and Aquarius is also highly, highly individualistic. They are individualistic to the point where they'd rather be alone than fit into society. And this can conflict, and Lilith amplifies this energy. And this can conflict with Aquarius' need for helping humanity. This humanitarian need to help society, help people at large. This can really conflict with Lilith energy, and a lot of the times they can struggle with these two sides of themselves. Sometimes Lilith and Aquarius can go through very sudden changes because Uranus is about sudden changes. So the electric nature of Uranus can end up totally destroying her life, totally causing upheavals in her life in a very big way. And oftentimes Lilith and Aquarius will keep struggling with these changes that keep manifesting in her life. And usually these changes are out of nowhere, like bizarre changes that she had absolutely no idea about. They come out of nowhere usually. Moving on to Lilith and Pisces. So Pisces is ruled by Neptune. Neptune is the planet of illusions. It's a planet of self-delusion. And what can happen is when Lilith is in Pisces, Lilith tends to perversely amplify whatever sign it is in. So what will happen is the Lilith in Pisces can be too lost in the illusion of what a relationship is, or she can be too lost in who she really is. She may not know who she really is as a person. She is always deluding herself. She's always lost in that fantasy. And that illusion of Neptune, that Neptune haze, it can cloud her reality so much that she doesn't know who she is anymore. And a lot of the times what happens is she may end up trying to escape through drugs or alcohol or other kinds of addictions, because Pisces also rules addictions. Neptune rules addictions. It's also the 12th house of losses and, Neptunian influence. So Lilith in Pisces can manifest in two ways. Either she can escape through drugs, alcohol, or any other kind of addiction because she just cannot deal with this whole, she doesn't know who she is, and she's always trying to find herself through substance abuse. The other side it can play out is that, she never ends up diving deep. You know, she, even though it's a water sign, she never ends up diving deep because she's too scared of what her own illusions are going to present herself. So she never dives deep. She's still always in the shallow waters. And so she's putting a prison, you know, she's caging herself, kind of like Virgo. If Virgo is a masochistic sign, you know, punishing herself every time she indulges in Lilith, Lilith and Pisces imprisons herself in her own cage. She never lets herself swim very deep because she's too scared. She doesn't know what Lilith is going to bring her. She's scared that if she indulges in these illusions, in these fantasies, that she's going to dive so deep that she's going to forget herself and she's going to leave herself there. She's going to leave herself there and never really come back to reality. So she's always scared of this. She's always scared of losing touch with reality. And so this can be like a self-imprisonment that Lilith and Pisces does to themselves. Often Lilith and Pisces can be so out of touch with reality that even in relationships, this has very serious consequences because it can result in doomed love, you know, losses in relationships. Because if somebody is not rooted in reality, how do they sustain a relationship, right? It's going to be very difficult. And so a lot of the times, Lilith and Pisces suffers from doomed relationships, unrequited love, you know, never really getting the love that they want, that they deserve, because they're always in this Neptunian haze, like almost like they're sedated. They can't get out of it. Like this constant illusion that's there, but they can never face up to it, and they're always trying to escape from it. So that is a massive challenge with Lilith and Pisces. That was my take on Lilith and each of the 12 signs. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. Please hit the thumbs up button at the bottom of the video. Please subscribe to my channel. I keep posting videos every week on different aspects of astrology. So please subscribe to my channels to stay tuned to updates. And like I said, I do tarot readings, I do astrology chart readings. I even do synastry chart readings. So if you want to know you know, what your compatibility is with somebody else, you can get in touch with me. I'll draw up your charts. I'll do a synastry chart and tell you what the relationship is going to look like, whether you two are, both of you are compatible, if there are going to be challenges ahead, and I'm also going to be recommending what you can do to overcome these challenges. So get in touch with me at my Facebook page, facebook.com/Venusianscorp. I've started doing tarot and astrology chart readings on Messenger, on Facebook Messenger. So if you'd like something like that, get in touch with me. I also do like written reports, and these reports are very, very comprehensive. I, you know, analyze your entire birth chart. I figure out where your challenges are. I pinpoint where exactly your challenges are. And these, I'll be giving you like realistic recommendations, stuff that you can apply practically to your everyday life. And these are going to be like an action plan. It's going to be like a systematized action plan that you can follow every single day. I'll be telling you what to do every day to, you know, get out of these challenges, to weaken the effects of certain negative aspects in your charts. And it's going to be a completely customized report that is meant exclusively for you, for your unique requirements, for your unique challenges that you're facing in this life. And so get in touch with me and I'll be happy to help you out. So thank you for watching. Thank you so much for subscribing. Thank you so much for liking this video if you liked it. Please do stay tuned and look forward to talking to you in my next video. Thank you for watching. Bye.